Mr. Stark, you become part of a bigger universe. You just don't know it yet.
Ever since Samuel L. Jackson emerged at the end of the Iron Man credits in 2008, audiences are now conditioned to sit through a Marvel movie's end credits with the knowledge that a bonus scene almost certainly awaits them. Now, Marvel didn't create this fun trope by any means, as the first example appeared in the Muppet movie from 1979. But Marvel sure perfected it and made it commonplace, and as you'll see later on, actually started using them to drop some pretty big plot bombshells, making them totally unmissable, and ensuring that nobody leaves until the house lights come on and the screen turns off. So without any further ado, here are our top 10 Marvel Cinematic Universe post-credit scenes.
You ever tried shawarma? There's a shawarma joint about 2 blocks from here. I don't know what it is, but I want to try it.
A day after the world premiere, director Joss Whedon decided to film an additional post-credit scene that featured the Avengers, exhausted after the Battle of New York, sat around eating shawarma in an effortlessly funny throwaway gag. Chris Evans is even wearing a prosthetic jaw in this scene to cover a beard he had grown. Throughout Spider-Man Far From Home, Nick Fury was acting weird, let's say. He doesn't make an attempt to take a dangerous missile system away from Peter after he almost killed his entire class. And he also just stands by and watches the final climactic fight with Mysterio. Was Fury always this checked out? Why is he suddenly so incompetent? Well, it turns out, as the post-credit scene reveals, that this wasn't Nick Fury at all.
It was fine.
Nick Fury was actually a shape-shifting Skrull by the name of Talos, who was introduced in Captain Marvel. Fixing an apparent plot hole with the aid of a post-credit scene? Genius!
So we need you to come back, because everyone kept asking me where the Avengers are, and I don't know what to say to that, so you're lucky that's Spider-Man won.
Next up, we have a big belly laugh that requires a little explanation. Sam Raimi directed the original Evil Dead and cast Bruce Campbell as Ash in the lead role. During the events of Evil Dead, Ash and a group of friends find a book that awakens evil spirits, who then start possessing him and his friends. One evil spirit gets into Bruce Campbell's hand and tries to kill him. During the events of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, also directed by Raimi, Doctor Strange encounters Bruce Campbell playing a street vendor called Pizza Popper. After a heated exchange, Doctor Strange casts a spell forcing Pizza Popper to repeatedly punch himself in the face, that according to Strange will last for weeks. The final scene after the credits has an exhausted and bruised Bruce Campbell finally stop punching himself. There's then a jump cut zoom to Bruce happily declaring, "It's over!" Now, several people in our cinema screening were a little disappointed with this final credit scene. But for those who got the reference, this was the icing on the cake.
What is it?
Multiple bogeys over Wakanda.
Same energy signature as New York?
10 times bigger.
A post-credit scene that still gives us goosebumps today. Thanos has just snapped his fingers, and we've had the traumatic experience of watching many of our favourite Avengers turn to ash. Nick Fury, who started it all, is seen quickly rushing to grab a pager and using it to send a distress call just before he disintegrates. The camera slowly moves towards the pager before it quickly flashes with Captain Marvel's logo along with an accompanying fanfare. Despite everything the Avengers had come across thus far, Nick only decided to play his trump card at this moment, making us all flock to cinema screens a year later to see why.
Where's Fury?
Humans. They are not the cowering wretches we were promised.
We've already talked about the other post-credit scene from the Avengers. But But we're ranking this one a little higher due to how significant it turned out to be. This is the first time we see Thanos, and Marvel's decision to slowly introduce him as a puppet master in the shadows did a great job of building him up to be the MCU's big bad.
So, you got detention. You screwed up.
Throughout Spider-Man Homecoming, Peter Parker and his friends sit through public service announcements by Captain America in class.
The only way to really be cool is to follow the rules. We all know what's right. We all know what's wrong.
This was a great joke in itself, but having a bonus scene that airs after people have been waiting through minutes of boring credits in which Captain America talks about patience is a masterstroke.
Sometimes patience is the key to victory. Sometimes it leads to very little, and it seems like it's not worth it. And you wonder why you waited so long for something so disappointing.
We'll admit it, we thoroughly enjoy getting trolled by the MCU overlords.
How many more of these?
After creating Star Wars and Indiana Jones, George Lucas decided to make a superhero comedy film, Howard the Duck.
Did you hear something?
The Marvel comic book adaptation flopped, and flopped hard, with Howard the Duck never to be seen again. That was until he randomly popped up in a Guardians of the Galaxy post-credit scene.
What do you let it lick you like that for? Gross.
We couldn't help but laugh at the anthropomorphic duck cameo, and still can't believe that Howard the Duck is in the MCU. He's even in a blink and you miss it cameo during Endgame's final battle. During Disney Plus's series Hawkeye, Clint Barton and his children go to see Rogers, a hit Broadway musical about the Battle of New York. We never got to see much of it in the show itself, and so we were absolutely thrilled when a mid-credits scene from the last episode decided to give us a full performance of Save the City. I tell ya, if Marvel aren't making this musical for real, then they simply don't know their audience.
I am Iron Man. You think you're the only superhero in the world?
The scene that started it all, and something that most people missed until the DVD release. At the end of Iron Man's credits, global superstar Samuel L. Jackson appears as Nick Fury and tells Tony Stark that he's not the only superhero in the world. The thought of separate movies sharing the same world was a mind-blowing premise for audiences at the time, which just goes to show how far we've come.
I'm here to talk to you about the Avenger Initiative.
But that's not all, folks. Here's the real blockbuster. Brace yourselves, you might want to sit down.
Spider-Man's real name is...
And in first place, we still can't believe that this scene was left until the credits, as it's arguably the biggest thing to happen in the movie and raises the stakes astronomically for our hero. Not only do you have the bombshell of Spider-Man's true identity being revealed to the entire world, but J.K. Simmons reprises his role as J. Jonah Jameson from the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy, reimagined as the host of a conspiracy website. It's the greatest ever post-credits scene, and it absolutely guarantees that people will remain bums on seats until the credits have run their course. Because imagine missing that.
Spider-Man's name is Peter Parker.
What the? And that's it for our top 10 Marvel Cinematic Universe post-credit scenes. But what was your favourite post-credit scene from the MCU? Let us know in the comments below. And thanks for watching.
Hey, what's going on? I'm Kevin Hart.
Hi, my name's Eric Stonestreet.
Hi, I'm Margot. I'm Journey.
I'm James McAvoy.
I'm Daniel Radcliffe.
I'm Rebel Wilson.
I'm Jeremy Clarkson.
I'm going to be translating some Scottish tweets for It's Gone Viral.
On It's Gone Viral.
Ooh. On It's Gone Viral.